Teraz porozmawiamy na temat wdrożenia blockchainowego realizowanego w gamingu i e-sporcie, oczywiście przez Kinguin. Niestety nie ma Kima, z którym miałem porozmawiać. Zamiast tego będę rozmawiał z Johnem. John, I hope you're here. So you are not prepared, I heard it, right?
Well, I'm not. Well, this is a Q&A session, so none of the questions and answers for the other people have been prepared anyway. So I guess I'm at least as prepared as everybody else.
I'm asking because I heard your previous speech during the internal meeting on Kinguin. You did great, so he's prepared, really perfect. So let's start with the blockchain revolution, and we know that it affects many markets, and one of them is gaming. And do you believe it's going to be like a revolution or just a minor change?
Revolution is a big word.
It is. We like big words.
Yes, and they are hard to predict. If you try to predict a revolution, you will usually fail. But I can absolutely guarantee that this is going to be more than a minor change for the gaming industry.
Okay, what's about gaming that it creates a field for blockchain to appear and to change the reality?
Well, I think besides what Alexander was talking about, which I thought was really interesting, because Alexander was talking about actual content changing, like a new form of game that can appear based on decentralized technology. So there is that part, and that's very interesting. But then, of course, the blockchain has huge impact on, first of all, the business side of it. We have a gaming industry that has been growing and growing and growing on the economic scale. It is by far the most valuable entertainment industry in the world. There's nothing else that can compare with it, probably only like traditional sports. So this economic growth in gaming, for me, the biggest contribution that a decentralized technology like blockchains can have is a bigger share of this economic growth to everybody who's part of gaming. What we're going to see in gaming is that instead of few large corporations taking the biggest part or almost all of the part of the economic growth, we're going to see, and we're going to try and do our part to make that happen, to see a more democratic sharing of this value growth. And before you ask why we want to share, well, it's not just because, I mean, we're not communists here, of course, but today the gamers are the content today. Not just when you're watching Let's Play videos, but in multiplayer games, the gamers are the content. The challenging game is created by other live players that are playing against you. It is not a game designer that has decided how this Dota team is going to play against your Dota team. It is other players. So whatever is possible to do to help all of these gamers take share in the value growth that has been in the gaming industry, that's where I think one of the big, maybe revolutions will happen.
Okay, to sum up, so you think that the content is being created by players as they are taking part in the esport industry, and you'd like to let people, players, earn on the content they create?
That would be one of the simplest first steps to take. The next steps are hard to predict. The inventions always come in iterations. So when we let one thing happen in an industry, the bigger ideas that come afterwards are always more far-reaching than the ones we can predict today. But yes, I think this is a very doable step, and with our project, we are going to do our part to make sure that that can happen.
Okay, so Kinguin already exists. It's a marketplace. That's what we are here, we are talking. So what's the difference about Kinguin.io? Because it's again a marketplace, but involving blockchain.
So, a big part of that discussion is decentralization versus centralization. So a traditional company structure is always about centralization. We want to centralize revenue to us and not share it with our competitors, for example. We want to centralize profits to us. We don't want to share them. And when it comes to centralization versus decentralization, as a single player in a market, until now, it has always been more profitable to try and centralize things.
Yeah.
Like, monopoly is an evil word, but if you are a business and you are able to achieve a monopoly, that is the most valuable thing you can have in a business, of course. With blockchain and decentralized technology, we now have an opportunity, or I would say, there are new laws of nature in play in business now. We see now that by sharing more, we grow the market with such a rate that our share increases way more than if we try to centralize it and wall it in.
Okay, so we believe that inviting players, your customers, to be your business partners, let you earn more and let people to earn at the same time.
Exactly. And this is not just a change in mindset because of the technology. The technology has made things possible that simply wasn't organizationally or administratively possible before. For example, imagine in '92, before internet, like you would talk to people that I'm going to organize thousands of drivers all over the world that will rent out their cars on an agreed set of terms, like Uber, for example. That was simply not possible before the internet. It wasn't possible. So anybody could have had that idea for Uber at that time, but it wouldn't be feasible. We're seeing the same things now with the blockchain and cryptocurrencies, that we are now organizationally and administratively able to share our business with hundreds and thousands of other people. We don't need to sign a contract with each of them. The contract is in the code.
A smart contract.
For example, yes. That's where we start.
Okay, let's work on the idea you gave about Uber. When there was no internet, it was not possible to create a business like this. Later with internet, Uber was created, but it was centralized. So now with blockchain, it can be decentralized. We don't need the boss called Uber, right?
For sure. The next Uber is going to be a decentralized company.
Okay. No boss means like something dangerous for Victor. Do you still need Victor in the company as it's decentralized?
I think Victor recognizes that he's getting a small share of something that is way bigger by decentralizing. So again, we are not just doing this for ideological reasons. We are in business here. We are here to earn money, of course. But we have seen the light, so to speak. We see that we can be part of growing the cake to such a size that even though we are sharing our share with lots of other people, the value of that share is worth way more than anything we could achieve by trying to wall it in.
Okay, so we are now on your way to create Kinguin.io. Right now, it's the time of ICO. Could you give us a look what the ICO is?
The ICO is an initial coin offering. So it is an opportunity for people to take part in this by owning the tokens themselves. So the tokens will be available for anybody to purchase in the ICO. And we do that on March 30th, where the full ICO opens. And anybody who has access to Ethereum or Bitcoin can own crowns and from day one be guaranteed to be part of this marketplace.
Okay, so when we are talking about ICOs and let's say crypto, people used to say the words, two words actually, scam and bubble. What's the difference between your ICOs and those ICOs that, I don't know, collected like $200 million and later it occurs, it's just 5 guys with no office, with nothing more but the white paper. White paper is an idea of a concept you want to create. What's the difference between you and them?
Well, first of all, we have something to lose, right? We are betting a $100 million company a year, $100 million a year company, sorry. We are betting this company on this change. We cannot afford to scam anybody. The things we are risking, the things that we would lose by cheating people is worth way more than what we could achieve through the funding of an ICO. The ICO is not just about about getting funding for us is just as much as creating ambassadors that has incentive to help make this marketplace happen.
So getting people involved.
Exactly, ownership, basically.
Okay, and the last thing I'd like to look at, I went through your white paper, and you got like an awesome and crazy idea that, for example, people using your platform will be able to fix someone's computer, like to log in to make that you got more FPS, and later you get paid with your token, what is Crown. Does it work like this?
That's part of it. We want to, as part of our marketplace, we want gaming-related services to be something that you can buy and sell on this marketplace. One of those ideas is not so much technical support, but technical expertise. Exactly as you're saying, I have a hardware rig that should be able to do 60 FPS in this game, but I'm only getting 45. And there's a lot of really good gamers out there who don't know anything about hardware. But there are also people out there who know exactly that with this motherboard and this specific graphic card, you need this specific driver. And he can also look at it and say, well, I can also see you have a really slow hard disk. So that's not helping at all, that's a bottleneck. That kind of advice is impossible to monetize. That might be a 5-minute service, that he's providing. He is quickly going in, he's seeing this. So this is not a service that's going to cost hundreds of dollars. It's going to be quick and painless. Therefore, the payment for it needs to be equally quick and painless.
So it's a micro payment. And okay, one question, why can't it be done right now for Kinguin? There is a platform. Why do you need blockchain for this? Because it's faster, the payment is faster, it's micro payment?
First of all, by decentralizing this, we're not just talking about decentralization in terms of who owns the data. That's the biggest decentralization there is in cryptocurrency, that the ledger, the data, is shared among all of us, right? What we're also going to decentralize is the access point to this marketplace. So right now, our access point is the website, is kinguin.net. So you go to our website, and then you have access to our marketplace. With the blockchain, we are able to go for a more API-like approach. So we're going to have APIs for everything. That's a helpful architectural decision for us for the services that we already have planned. But the services we have planned may not be the smartest thing that exists on our marketplace in the future. In the future, the smartest services on our marketplace might be invented by somebody completely different that uses our decentralized marketplace to make this happen. We're basically outsourcing the creative work by making it possible for other people to take part in the marketplace.
Okay, we are about to finish because Ella is getting really, no, now she's excited when she heard like finish, come on. But I want to share with you my last worry because I see that society understands less and less the technologies using. For example, the internet. We all use internet. At the same time, almost nobody understands how it works. But we keep using it because it's useful, it's easy to do so. The blockchain, cryptocurrency, is about money. People are scared. At the same time, they do not understand what is the technology about, so they are like, oh, no, better not to touch it. So, of course, that's the job for early adopters. They keep explaining, you keep explaining, but do you believe that one day people will simply understand what blockchain is about, or is it like they use it, but they won't get much into this?
It's definitely going to be further to the latter, that people will use it and adopt it, but not necessarily understand it. And that's not a bad thing. Like TVs got widespread in society without people exactly understanding how a cathode tube, sprays electrons on a screen and makes a picture appear. People didn't need to understand that for that to happen. People didn't need to understand TCP/IP or HTTP to understand that the internet and especially the World Wide Web was a valuable thing in their lives. And it's going to be the same with blockchain and any cryptocurrency related technology. The early adopters you're talking about, that's the people here in this room, for example. This is not We don't need a widespread understanding of all of the technology to make this happen. But we need to have people like the people in this room. We need those people to understand the technology.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.